Unfold. Move. Unfold. Move. Honor guard. Positions. Move.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
Forward, march.
Ten years have passed since a perfect blue sky morning turned into the blackest of nights. Since then, we've lived in sunshine and in shadow. And although we can never unsee what happened here, we can also see that children who lost their parents have grown into young adults, grandchildren have been born, and good works and public service have taken root to honor those we loved and lost. In all the years that Americans have looked to these ceremonies, we have shared both words and silences. The words of writers and poets have helped express what is in our hearts. The silences have given us a chance to reflect and remember. And in remembrance of all those who died in New York in 1993 and 2001, at the Pentagon, and in the fields near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, please join in observing our first moment of silence.
God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, even though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though its waters roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with its swelling. There is a river whose streams shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her just at the break of dawn. The nations raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come behold the works of the Lord, who has made desolations in the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two. He burns the chariot in fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge.
They were our neighbors, our friends, our husbands, wives, brothers, sisters, children, and parents. They were the ones who rushed in to help. 2,983 innocent men, women, and children. We have asked their families to come here, to speak the names out loud, to remind each of us of the person we lost in New York, in Washington, and Pennsylvania, and they each had a face, a story, a life cut short from under them. As we listen, let us recall the words of Shakespeare. Let us not measure our sorrow by their worth, for then it will have no end.
A. Amath, Jr.
Delmero Abad,
Marie Rose Abad.
Andrew Anthony Abate,
Vincent Paul Abate.
Lawrence Christopher Abel,
Alana Abraham.
William F. Abrahamson,
Richard Anthony Acito.
Heinrich Bernard Ackerman,
Paul Aquaviva.
Christian Adams,
Donald Leroy Adams.
Patrick Adams,
Shannon Lewis Adams.
Stephen George Adams,
Ignatius Udo Adanga.
Christy A. Adam,
And my beloved son, Joshua Todd Aaron, we miss you and love you forever. You're always in our hearts.
and my sister, Marlene Capito Bautista. We love you and we miss you. You are always in our hearts.
Terrence Edward Adderley Jr.,
Sophia B. Otto,
Lee Adler,
Daniel Thomas Aflito,
Emmanuel Akwasi Afakwa,
Alok Agarwal,
Mukul Kumar Agarwala,
Joseph Agnello,
David Scott Agnes,
Joao Alberto de Fonseca Aguiar Jr.,
Brian G. Ahern,
Jeremiah Joseph Ahern,
Joanne Marie Aladiotis,
Sabir Ahmed,
Terrence Andre Aiken,
Godwin O. Ajala,
Trudy M. Algero,
Andrew Alameno,
and my uncle, firefighter Dennis M. Carey, Sr. Big D, we miss you, we love you, and your light and love shine through your three beautiful grandchildren, Grace, Juliet, and Ryan.
and my uncle, Dr. Lee Allen Adler. We love and miss you.
Anne Alario,
Gary M. Albert,
John Leslie Albert,
Peter Greg Alderman,
Jacqueline Delane Aldridge Frederick,
David D. Alger,
Ernest Ali Caicos,
Edward L. Allegretto,
Eric Allen,
Jessup Ryan Allen,
Richard Dennis Allen,
Richard L. Allen,
Christopher E. Allingham,
Anna S. W. Allison,
Janet Marie Alonzo,
Anthony Alvarado,
Antonio Javier Alvarez,
Victoria Alvarez Brito,
and my uncle James Kenneth Samuel Jr. We miss you.
and my beautiful daughter Laura Angelera. Laura, we love you, we miss you. Laura, ti voglio tanto bene. Sarai sempre nel mio cuore.
Telmo E. Alvear,
Cesar Amaranto Alviar.
Tariq Anamula,
Angelo Amaranto.
James M. Amato,
Joseph Amatuccio.
Paul W. Ambrose,
Christopher Charles Amoroso.
Craig Scott Amundson,
Kazuhiro Anai.
Calixto Anaya Jr.,
Joseph P. Anchundia.
Kermit Charles Anderson,
Yvette Constance Anderson.
John Jack Andriacchio,
Michael Rourke Andrews.
Jean Ann Andruki,
Siu Nya Ang.
and my best friend, my mentor, and my father, Michael Georgiachinsky. If you got the chance to meet my little brother, you'd be proud.
And my big brother, Richard Avery Arano. We miss you. We love you.
Joseph Angelini Sr.,
Joseph John Angelini Jr.,
David Lawrence Angel,
Mary Lynn Edwards Angel,
Laura Angeletta,
Doreen J. Angrisani,
Lorraine Antigua,
Seema David Iowama,
Peter Paul Apollo,
Faustino Apostle Jr.,
Frank Thomas Aquilino,
Patrick Michael Aranios,
David Gregory Arche,
Michael George Arinsky,
Louis Arena,
Barbara Jean Aristecki,
Adam P. Arias.
Michael J. Armstrong.
Last but not least, one of the best fathers in the world, Mr. James Orderfred. We love you and miss you dearly.
And my daughter, Dominique Lisa Pandolfo. We love you.
Jack Charles Aaron,
Joshua Todd Aaron,
Richard Avery Aronell,
Mara Joy Aronson,
Japhet Jesse Ariet,
Carl Francis Asaro,
Michael A. Asiak,
Michael Edward Asher,
Janice Marie Ashley,
Thomas J. Ashton,
Manuel O. Esatimbe,
Greg A. Atlas,
Gerald Thomas Atwood,
James Otterfred,
Louis F. Aversano Jr.,
Ezra Aviles,
Sandy Ayala,
Arlene T. Babakitas,
and my dad, Michael Batch,
and my sister, Melissa Yvette White. We love you, we miss you, and we'll never forget you.
Eustace R. Bacchus,
John J. Badakliaka,
Jane Ellen Basler,
Robert J. Bearwalter,
Andrew J. Bailey,
Brett T. Bailey,
Garnet Ace Bailey,
Tatiana Bakalinskaya,
Michael S. Baksh,
Sharon M. Balcom,
Michael Andrew Bain,
Catherine Bantis,
Gerard Baptiste,
Walter Barron,
Gerard A. Barbara,
Paul Vincent Barbaro,
James William Barbella,
Victor Daniel Barbosa.
And I'm here today in honor of my father and Port Authority employee James William Barbella.
And my uncle and godfather, firefighter Matthew Barnes. Forget me not.
Christine Jonna Barbudo,
Colleen Ann Barlow,
David Michael Barkway,
Mark Matthew Barnes,
Melissa Rose Barnes,
Sheila Patricia Barnes,
Evan J. Barron,
Renee Barrett Ajun,
Arthur Thaddeus Berry,
Diane G. Barry,
Maurice Vincent Berry,
Scott D. Bart,
Carlton W. Bartels,
Guy Bartsby,
Ina B. Basina,
Alicia Christian Burton Bajmajan,
and my father, Kenneth William Baznicki,
Stephen Joseph Bates, and my brother, Jasper Baxter. We love you. You'll never be forgotten.
Paul James Battaglia,
W. David Bauer,
Ivan Luis Carpio Bautista,
Marlon Capito Batista,
Mark Lawrence Bavis,
Jasper Baxter,
Lorraine G. Bay.
Michelle Beal.
Thank you for your courage, Todd M. Beamer. Let's roll.
Paul Frederick Bettini,
Jane S. Beatty,
Alan Anthony Bevan,
Lawrence Ira Beck,
Manette Marie Beckles,
Carl John Bedigian,
Michael Ernest Beekman,
Maria A. Bear,
Max J. Belke.
It is an honor to say my brother's name, Christopher Edmund Lunder, who with his sparkling blue eyes and infectious smile is greatly missed and deeply loved every single day.
And my father, Calixto Anaya Jr. We love you. You're my hero.
Yelena Belovatsky.
Nina Patrice Bell.
Debbie S. Bellows.
Stephen Elliott Belson.
Paul M. Benedetti.
Denise Lenore Benedetto.
Brian Craig Bennett.
Eric L. Bennett.
Oliver Bennett.
Margaret L. Benson.
Dominic J. Berardi.
James Patrick Berger.
Stephen Howard Berger.
John P. Bergen.
Alvin Bergson.
Daniel David Bergstein.
Graham Andrew Barkley.
Michael J. Berkeley.
And my brother, my best friend, Paul Frederick Biatini. Paul, miss you, love you. Your girls are doing great. Your niece and nephew, Mark and Danielle, are doing great. Give Mom a kiss for me up there. And just let me give a shout out to the men and women who built this memorial. I've been down here a little bit to watch it. And to our first responders and to our military. Thank you all very much.
And to my brother, Anthony Edward Gallagher, we love you and we miss you.
Donna M. Bernards.
David W. Bernard.
William H. Bernstein.
David M. Beret.
David Shelby Berry.
Joseph John Berry.
William Reed Bethke.
Janene Beatru.
Timothy D. Betterly.
Carolyn Mayer Bug.
Edward Frank B.A.
Paul Michael Baer.
Anil Taharam Bahavani.
Bella J. Buchan.
Shimi D. Biegeleisen.
Peter Alexander Bielfeld.
William G. Biggert.
Brian Eugene Bilcher.
And my brother-in-law, Stephen Howard Berger. We all miss you. There's not a day that goes by that we don't think of you. You'll always be in our hearts. We love you.
And my brother, William Reed Bethke, we will always remember you.
Mark Bingham.
Carl Vincent Beanie.
Gary Eugene Bird.
Joshua David Birnbaum.
George John Bishop.
Chris Romeo Bishundat.
Jeffrey Donald.
President Lincoln not only understood the heartbreak of his country, he also understood the cost of sacrifice and reached out to console those in sorrow. In the fall of 1864, he learned that a widow had lost 5 sons in the Civil War, and he wrote her this letter. Dear Madam, I have been shown in the files of the War Department a statement of the Adjutant General of Massachusetts that you're the mother of 5 sons who have died gloriously on the field of battle. I feel how weak and fruitless must be any words of mine which should attempt to beguile you from the grief of a loss so overwhelming. but I cannot refrain from tendering to you the consolation that may be found in the thanks of the Republic they died to save. I pray that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement and leave you only the cherished memory of the loved and lost, and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom. Yours very sincerely and respectfully, Abraham Lincoln.